Have you ever wondered why someone became instantly obsessed with you, only to break up with you months or years later? Why that person who at first seemed like the godsend partner turned out to be the worst? Why people claim they fell in love at first sight, only to vanish without warning? Well, that's not a coincidence. In fact, this is a hidden force no one ever told you about, and it's been shaping every relationship you've ever had. Let me burst your bubble. Falling in love is mostly an illusion. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, believed most people don't fall in love with you. They fall in love with something they see in you, something powerful, buried, and deeply personal, something no one ever talks about. And when that illusion breaks, so does the love. Here's the part that hurts. If you've ever been adored, then discarded, you weren't truly loved. You were used as a projection, as a story. In fact, Jungian psychologists found that 78% of love at first sight cases are nothing more than unconscious projection. Not soulmates, not magic, just a hidden psyche chasing itself in disguise. And this is why the people who fall hardest for you often disappear without warning. And if you don't understand what's really happening underneath that rush of intensity, you'll keep repeating the same cycle, the same high, the same crash, the same heartbreak. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 2 hidden reasons why people fall in love with you, only to break your heart later. And trust me, this isn't some relationship advice fluff. This is a deep, spiritual pattern hidden in the psyche, designed by the universe, that no one has ever told you about. And once you see it clearly, you'll stop mistaking fantasy for love. You'll stop being the screen for someone else's unfinished story. And finally, start choosing connection that's real. So stick with me, because the secret you're about to uncover doesn't just explain your past. It will change how you love for the rest of your life. But before I tell you this secret, if you are new here, subscribe to this channel, and everyone like this video as an appreciation for saving you from your next heartbreak. Reason 1. You represent what they lack. You didn't become their dream. You became their emotional crutch. They didn't fall for you because of who you were. They fell for the gap you filled. Someone who's lived their whole life in control, disciplined, logical, emotionally distant. They meet you, and suddenly you're all feeling raw, honest, unfiltered. You don't follow the rules. You are the fire they buried years ago, and boom, they're obsessed. Or maybe you're the nurturer, the one who always listens, who feels deeply, and someone emotionally starved clings to you like a lifeline. Sounds familiar, right? You're basically their therapist without the paycheck. This isn't chemistry. This is compensation. This is the unconscious mind saying, I can't express this in myself, so I'll chase it in you. Jung called it shadow work. We fall for what we've suppressed. And when we see it walking around in another person, alive and unapologetic, it pulls us like a magnet. This is why opposites attract isn't romance. It's repair. Their soul is trying to reclaim what it exiled. And if they don't do the inner work, they'll end up resenting you for owning the thing they've denied. Sometimes it's not just what they lack. It's what they hate, but secretly crave. The good girl falls for the rebel. The stoic man aches for the one who breaks him open. Feels like passion, but it's just a war between what they rejected and what they want to reclaim. That's not love, and it doesn't last, because here's the sharp edge of it all. They'll cling to you until they either heal that lack or blame you for not fixing it. And the moment you stop playing that role, the emotional crutch, the missing puzzle piece, the fantasy, they'll vanish like a ghost. Reason 2. You match their inner archetype. This is where it gets strange and a little dangerous. Carl Jung believed that inside every man lives a hidden image of the feminine, called the anima, and inside every woman, a concealed image of the masculine, the animus. That feeling someone gets when they lock eyes with you and say, "You're the one. I've never felt this before." That wasn't fate. That was their archetype screaming, "Finally, you found me." You weren't just familiar. You were ancestral, archetypal, a living symbol from a myth their soul has carried for years. See, these aren't preferences like, "I want someone who's kind," or "I like guys with ambition." No, these are ancient emotional blueprints, formed through early relationships shaped by unmet needs and burned into the unconscious. And here's the wild part. Jung said these archetypes can make you fall in love within seconds, before you even know someone's name, because your psyche isn't waiting for facts or conversation. The scanning for symbols. And the moment you walk into someone's life, and your energy, voice, or presence even slightly resembles that symbol, they don't see you. They see the ghost. A ghost of love past. A mosaic of every parent, lover, and story that shaped their longing. It doesn't feel casual. It feels cosmic. It feels like destiny just woke up inside them. But here's the trap. Archetypes are flawless. You aren't. Archetypes don't forget to call back. They don't cry, bleed, argue, or say no. And the second your real self emerges, with your flaws, boundaries, moods, and truths, the illusion snaps. They said you changed, but you didn't. The dream broke. Let's be brutally honest. You've probably never been in love. Not really. What you've been in is addiction. Addicted to the high of being idealized. To that intoxicating moment when someone looks at you like you're salvation in skin. Like you're the answer to a question they've never dared to ask. But no one talks about the crash. And it always comes. The moment they see the real you, your depth, your darkness, your boundaries, the fantasy dies. And they don't know how to handle the truth. Because this wasn't love. It was a psychological cycle, idealization, obsession, disappointment, discard, a high and a drop, a spike when they say, "You're everything I've ever wanted," a fall when they realize, "You're not who I thought you were," not because you failed, but because they woke up from their own illusion. Real love doesn't begin with perfection. It begins where the fantasy ends. Not when you perform, but when you're fully seen and still chosen. That takes awareness, not adrenaline. See, projection feels safe, until it doesn't, because the moment you speak your truth, set a boundary, or reveal your scars, you interrupt the movie they were watching. And this is why people ghost. Not because you scared them, but because your truth shattered their illusion. They weren't prepared to love a human being. They were addicted to worshiping a symbol. And the moment that symbol cracked, so did their affection. Pedestals aren't for honoring people. They're for keeping them at a distance, safe, untouchable, and unreal. Because once you're human, you're no longer perfect. And when you're no longer perfect, they have to confront the parts of themselves they projected onto you. Some people were never meant to stay. They were meant to break you open. Not softly, not politely, but violently, beautifully, like a human earthquake. They don't come to build a life with you. They come to collapse the one you built around your trauma. To destroy what's false so something true can rise. Jung had a word for these moments. Synchronistic encounters. Fateful collisions. Not accidents. Not karma, but exact mirrors created by your unconscious. The universe wasn't matching you to them. It was matching you to you. The version of you you've buried. The part you forgot you had. And if you're brave enough to face it, you'll realize the love you've been chasing was never out there. It was always here. In the pieces of you they cracked wide open. You were never missing anything. You were just disconnected from yourself. They weren't your answer. They were your mirror. And that mirror, it showed you the piece you left behind. If you don't wake up to that, you'll keep repeating the story. New faces, same wounds. But when you finally get it, when you stop chasing fantasy and start claiming wholeness, everything changes. Because you are the love you've been chasing. Love doesn't complete you. It reveals you. So, who are you projecting onto right now? Who are you calling love? When deep down, they're just holding a part of you you've never dared to meet. Stop chasing mirrors. Stop falling for your own reflection in someone else's eyes. Start becoming whole. Because when you choose your wholeness, the right love won't complete you. It'll meet you there. If you made it to the end, that means this didn't just speak to you, it stirred something in you. So don't let it be just another video. Let it be a turning point. Subscribe if you're ready to stop chasing illusions. Like this video not for the algorithm, but as your quiet yes to healing. And in the comments, write this out loud as you type it, like a vow to your soul. I am no longer a fantasy. I am real and enough. Let it be your declaration, because from this moment on, you stop being the fantasy and start becoming the real thing.